a lot of the things that I've heard. I was chatting to a Bobby today, actually, who's actually resigned as a result of being under investigation for so long because of a malicious allegation from his ex-partner. Um, I've had loads of
Wow.
Bobbies. I actually had one lady contact me who said that, so she went out for a drink with a friend. She was off sick or something like that, and she's gone for a dog walk with a mate who's in the job. And then the
Yeah.
mate stopped her in and said, "Oh, she says she's sick, but she went out for a dog walk with me." So a year later,
Behave.
yeah. So a year later, they pull her in the office and say, "A year ago, you said you was off sick." So then they suspended her. She then got cancer as a result of, well, while she was off, she contracted cancer. She messaged him and said, "I'm now going to have to be off long-term sick," and they accused her of lying to get out of the investigation. That's who does that? That is
Fucking
wrong.
mental.
That is wrong, isn't it? So, you know,
Whoa.
and just from speaking from anecdotal evidence, so when I was investigation, like,
Yeah.
it's all you think about. All the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed,
Yeah.
you're thinking
Yeah.
like, well, even when the case gets closed, criminal case, am I even going to have a job afterwards? Because
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like that firearms officer that shot that Chris Kabar. Obviously, we can't talk about it too
Yes.
much, but he got found not guilty by jury, and now he's under an internal investigation. And that's not even the Met. That was the IOPC who said, "Okay, but we're instructing you to do an internal investigation now." It's like it's people can be quite right in thinking if you've got a target on your back, they'll go for you and they'll find whatever they can.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Here's the thing, though, picking up on what you just said there, Jay, and I don't know whether you've reflected on this. I'm sure you have, and I'm sure you've had many nightmares about it. But this is the thing that really pisses me off, right? And this is not just with the police, but tends to be with the police, is why are the powers that be, and I've got first-hand experience of this, arresting people for offences under Code G when they could be voluntary interviewed, and they're arresting them because they're a police officer. And this is
yeah,
happening to members of the public as well now, isn't it? You know, also there was that father who would there was some malcoms about the school and stuff like that, and
and
he
then the
got locked up.
WhatsApp was that was it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was like, how can you justify locking somebody up? And when you've been placed into a cell, I don't know this personally, I can only imagine what it would feel like. Where is the necessity for that, Jay? So it's no wonder that police officers are killing themselves, is it? The ones who are innocent, that trauma.
it seems to me like they come down on you so much harder if you're a serving cop rather
Mm.
than if you was a member of the public. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's because of the Sarah Everard thing or the Wayne County, the proper bad people who have managed to get
Evil
into the
people.
service. And
Yeah.
oh yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, them fucking lock them up, throw away the key. They're evil people, and they clearly joined the service in order to abuse their authority in that way. But I mean, I remember when I was training, there was a group of cops who were in a WhatsApp group, and one of them shared something, and not only did the person that shared, so someone had dobbed them in, and say there was 20 people in this group, one person's dobbed them in, um, and then not only did the person who sent the offending material get in trouble, but everyone else who was in that chat who didn't report it also got in trouble under like honesty and integrity. And it's like you're
What the
now guilty by
fuck?
association, not even if you do anything, but because you didn't say something, you're now just as culpable as the person that did it. So it's like the whole thing of I've had a few run-ins with PSD on during my time. I had one where I was making content online while I was in the job. I never identified myself as a cop. I never said where I worked. Um, I used a pseudonym and everything else. It's completely unidentifiable. And I was making content about domestic violence because obviously I'd been through it. And it was a forced priority on how to look after people. And I got hauled into the office over that by my inspector saying you can't be talking about that sort of stuff. I was like, why?
Why can't you? Yeah.
because you're a police officer. So wait, you're telling me that I can walk into someone's house in uniform and say the exact same things, and that's fine, but online to help people, you tell me PSD are going to lock me up and go through my phone and find something and then sack me for it. Yes, that's what I'm telling you. Right. So now not only do you have to be worried about what you do in work, you also have to be worried about what you do outside of work. So you've always got this fucking weight over you.
Cloud. Yeah, yeah. It's like one of those, like I've got some cartoon coming in my head, and it's not quite coming, but like those anvils. Somebody drops a flipping anvil on you, and you can see it coming, and it's like that, isn't it? I mean, we're laughing about it, but it's just ridiculous.
And I mean, well, I think we need to get into the absolute failure of the service if an officer who, as a result of being under investigation, or not even the result of investigation, but um, as a result of the cumulative trauma of what cops have to and emergency service in general have to deal with, that person then ends up hurting themselves or taking their own lives or gets sectioned or like that's a massive failure of well-being from the organization as well.
It's huge, isn't it? And here's the thing, right? I saw on LinkedIn, it was yesterday. I saw on LinkedIn, Hampshire Police Federation had were talking about whether it was Suicide Week, prevent something. They were doing lip service basically, right? And it was highlighting and publishing this app. And I actually downloaded this app, right? Stand by.
Yeah,
It's
stand
called
by.
Stay Alive, Grassroots Stay Alive Suicide Prevention app.
I think I've heard of
You
that.
heard of it?
Yeah, I think so. Sounds familiar.
Right. So Hampshire
I think I've
Police,
downloaded it as well, actually. I might have
you
it
got it as
too.
well.
Let me have a look. I remember. Yeah, I've got it.
Stop it, have you?
Yeah, well, it needs to re-download. Um, but yeah, I just typed it in there. I have got it.
Right, okay. So the point that I'm getting to is that police federations, police services go, oh, we've got this app. This is going to help officers from committing suicide and the general public. That is just lip service. It's exactly like the well-being flipping line that you can phone that's run by the College of Police. And who is going to phone that?
Yeah, don't get me started on the College of Policing.
Oh, stop it. I had a look at that app, right? And on the way to the gym, my husband and I were discussing it. Bearing in mind, I've been suicidal, as I just said, and so has my husband. And you're not going to, with the best will in the world, I love it. In fact, of the concept is great. It's not going to fucking work because when you're suicidal, let me tell you, you ain't going on your phone and going on an app.
No.
Not on the radar.
I've heard of. I've had officers. I read this out through the week, and it was a cop who he was a TISM officer. So when obviously like really bad
What's that
incidents
mean?
happen, so like when really bad incidents happen, cops have a debrief and they will then speak to the cops about. So I had one. Yeah, I think I've one or two, and they're very useful. But of course, you're all getting that therapy, so to speak. But then who's looking after the person giving the session because they're hearing everything else? Anyway, this officer, after so long of this, it broke them. They went off with stress and PTSD, and everything else. They then went back into the job, and they were told that they basically been advised you can't go back into uniform for a while because it's a trigger for you. The chief inspector was like, "Is in so many words, I don't give a shit about you how you feel. The list needs looking at. The demand is more important." So they did it, and they, needless to say, were re-traumatized by things they were going to, and they then expressed that they were feeling suicidal. They were told to go and speak to their GP, so not even anything by the job. And we know, like, okay, you get an appointment with your GP, that can take a few days, a week. But then to actually get some therapy through the NHS, you're talking 12, 18 months. And in that time, like, what support are the job putting in? And they even went round to their house. They even went round to this officer's house because it expressed in not intent, but feelings of self harm. Um, I went round to his house to like do a welfare check on his kids and his wife and everything else. So because he opened up about the way he was feeling, he was dismissed, he was punished for it, and he was then involved with the system. And then social services get referrals and stuff because the police have been called. So it's all well and good them saying, log on to the wellbeing portal. And plus, do you want to, and if you're a bit cynical about the people at the top who are accessing this data, do you want to really be opening up quite a lot about your
And
own
put yourself
personal
on the
issues?
radar. Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, this officer is saying he's got mental health issues. All right, we can't really have that. But yeah, oh, look at this well-being support here thing, what we've got now. So we've ticked that box, but actual real support is very much lacking in the services, from not only my experience, but from what people have told me as well. And it really needs to change, because nobody should lose a life because of the impact their jobs had on them. If someone, whether that's your own investigation or whatever, no one should lose their lives as a result of that. And it's absolutely disgraceful. And if there are any senior officers or occupational health people that listen to this, then I'd love to hear your thoughts, really, on do you, and it's all anonymous, or if you're an officer or you're in the NHS, let me know, and I'll happily talk about your experiences, both good and bad. But it's wrong. It's really, really wrong that it does happen. So, have you got any more to say on that, Laura, before we
Do you
move
know what
on?
I want to say is that this flipping podcast is great, right? Because when you said at the beginning and you were doing your introduction, right? I wrote something down. I write lots of things down, and part of what you said, and I don't even know whether you said it, is you help people feel less alone.
Yeah, that's the
And
point, isn't it?
that's just great, isn't it? There needs to be more people like that actually care about other people, because it is a lonely place, isn't it? Life is a lonely place at times.
Especially when you suspect colleagues might dob you in if you say something, or you make a. I mean, I don't know about you, but how I used to get through something horrible was I used to laugh about it. Like, I'd go to something and it would be fucking horrible. Um, and I just used to tell a joke or something, like now, if someone hears you say something like very, I don't know, uncouth, shall we say? You,
Uncouth, what a great word.
I know, right? I can't think of the right word.
Well done, mate.
Uncouth. You, you're potentially going to get the curly finger, and so you can't joke about things like that.